to infinity and beyond? Hello and thank you for clicking on this video. I'll be sharing my experience on an IEM from Rose Technics. This is the Star CD5 Pro, which sounds like it's an IEM from space. But funnily enough, I'm not sure why it's called the 5 Pro because it houses a single dynamic driver and 2 balanced armatures. So it's a 3-driver hybrid, so the mystery as to why it's named like this still remains in my head. But anyway, this IEM is around $75, so it's competing with many other players in this price category. But before we explore deeper, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Rose Technics for sending this unit in exchange for my honest feedback. However, as always, all thoughts and opinions are my own. Also, if you could help support the channel by hitting that like and subscribe button, I'd appreciate it a lot. Now, let's talk accessories. Inside this box is pretty standard, where you'll be greeted by the IEMs themselves and the carrying case. Opening the top layer will reveal the first set of interchangeable silicone ear tips. The carrying case itself is quite nice, where you have the fall leather material and also the light year branding, which is used throughout. And I'm not sure if it's a series lineup, but time will tell, as this is the first. But that's a different discussion for another video. Inside the case, it houses the cable and another set of interchangeable ear tips, but it also provided you with a USB-C to 3.5mm adapter for any phones that do not have a 3.5mm jack, which is a nice little accessory to have for modern smartphones. The cable itself is just fine, fabric material with an MMCX termination. If you like fabric sleeve on your cable, this might suit your preference. For me, it does the job, but I personally like something with a bit more heft. For the design of the IEMs themselves, to be honest, they actually look pretty unique, in a good way, compared to many other IEMs, so it has its own identity. It's pretty clear where the dynamic driver is located and where the BAs are, but there's enough curves and contours, and they kept the shell relatively small and compact. You've got the light year branding again on the faceplate, some dark grey color to the terminations, and the black resin shell. Overall, it actually looks really nice for its price, and what's important, at least for me, is that it has its own unique look that differentiates itself from the rest of the pack. By the way, Rose Technics really needs to update their promo pics because it's on the wrong side, but at least your manual is showing the correct method. But either way, for fit and comfort, due to its shape and size, it doesn't apply any pressure on my ears to cause any discomfort. Though I did have to do some ear tip rolling to find the best ones for these IEMs to stay in my ears. The original frequency of the Star CD5 Pro must have gone through a slight retune, because what's indicated in their graph in their promotional pictures would suggest a V-shaped IEM, but it looks very different from what I've measured, and unfortunately for my IEMs, there's a bit of channel imbalance in the 4 to 6 kHz region between the left to right side of the IEMs. But generally, it's somewhat similar to other people's measurements available on Squiglink. At least one side of it is, with that dip from the 4 kHz to the 5 kHz region. With that in mind, let's talk about the sound subjectively. This IEM is shooting for the stars in terms of treble, which is to say this IEM has a bright sounding characteristic. The first thing that comes out from the Star CD5 Pro is a very clear, open sounding note. Trumpet has that sharp attack to its notes, it sounds airy. However, I'd have to put a caution for treble sensitive people, because unless you're used to the Sennheiser IE600 or 900 or HiFiman's sound signature, this IEM may be too harsh to your ears, as the S's and T's coming from certain tracks have that bite to it, which is nice for treble heads looking to get bitten, but if you like a smoother sounding note, then this may not be the IEM for you. There's some bass presentation there, but for my personal taste, it's not enough to mask some of that energy coming from the top end, but it's enough to give some accompaniment to the track. It's an all-in-one kind of presentation where the vocals share the stage with the background music, and the imaging and resolution is about on par with its competitors at this price range. It did pick up some of subtle nuances as I was watching movies. As mentioned earlier, I was hearing people talking in the background, but it was a little difficult to pinpoint where that was, and it actually took the focus away from the main actor's conversation. So if you're looking for sources to pair with this IEM, typically I'd go with any warm leaning source just to give it a bit of warmth. This is one of those IEMs that will benefit a lot from having X-Bass feature from HiFi audio sources to give the bass a bit more meat, but if you accidentally turn X-Bass on, get ready to be pierced by treble. So versus the SimGod EA500 or EA500LM, the EA500 would have a somewhat similar sounding character to the Star CD5 Pro, where it has an open and clear sounding presentation, but the EA500 has a clean cleaner attack to its bass presentation and sounds more balanced as a whole, where it still has some sharpness to its notes, but it's not as sharp as the Star CD5 Pro. The EA500LM sounds a touch smoother than the EA500, so if you still want that bright sounding presentation with a bit more smoothness, then the EA500LM would be the pick, and the imaging and resolution to my ears coming from the SIMGuard EA500 series sounds a touch better, but at this price range they're all comparable to one another. So versus the Kafine Delchi, another competitor at this price range. The Kafine Delchi is a much smoother and warmer sounding IEM, and you could almost say it's the stark opposite of the Star CD5 Pro. If you're treble sensitive, then the Kafine Delchi would be the better pick between the two, and there's more focus to the vocal presence on the Kafine Delchi. If you're looking for something lightweight, then the Kafine Delchi takes the spot, but if you're looking for some unique looking IEM, then the Star CD5 Pro got the upper hand there. So in summary, I think the marketing for the Star CD5 Pro needs an overhaul because it's all over the shop and riddled with inconsistencies, which doesn't reflect what this IEM is, which is an IEM that has a very bright sounding signature, which is good for people who like some clarity and openness to their sound and are looking for this type of signature. But it may be a little bit too bright for some, and I like a little bit more bass to accompany the amount of treble that it has, and the competition at this price category is really stiff, which is great for consumers because you now have options. Nice accessories for its price though, but I'm curious to know your thoughts. What do you think about the Rose Technics Star CD5 Pro? If you do have one, share with me your experience in the comment section down below. And with that all said, thank you again to Rose Technics for this opportunity and to all of you for watching. Until the next video, take care and happy listening.